that it was watching Roy Jones in the 1988 Olympics at Seoul, Korea, which inspired him to resume an amateur boxing career that he had left behind and prompted him ultimately to get to the point where he is now.
And he was an outstanding amateur, just as Roy Jones was. He lost to Vasily Zhirov in the 96 Olympics. He's only had 22 fights or so as a professional. So even though he's 35, he's a young 35.
大家好，师傅从业风水20余年，帮助了数千名海内外华人朋友通过八字测算、命理分析、风水布局、法事化解等方式知命改运，并获得了巨大成功。如果你的财运不佳、事业不顺、情感婚姻不和等诸事烦心，原主可添加雨林师傅微信1185732211，帮你调节化解。记住微信11857322。
Roy Jones that we had long wanted to see, which was how would he deal with adversity. He was seriously threatened with a defeat in that fight, and he showed us his championship quality in the late rounds, despite his deep fatigue.
And having won a fight for the first time with his mind and his heart instead of with his body, Jones found that he became more popular. And having shown vulnerability, he suddenly had a connection to the audience, which might never have existed before. When he beat John Ruiz, he was the first former middleweight champion to...
First, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue, and he officially weighs 175 pounds. In his professional career, he has 21 victories, including 17 knockouts, with only 2 defeats. He comes to this ring tonight looking for revenge and redemption, to prove to the world that he is not just one of the 2 best, but that he is the very best light heavyweight in the world today. From Orlando, Florida, the #1 ranked contender and former light heavyweight champion of the world, Antonio Magic Man in rematch. He is universally recognized as, pound for pound, the greatest fighter over the past decade. Tonight, we turn the page to another chapter of the saga of a boxing superstar. From Pensacola, Florida, presenting the former middleweight world champion, former super middleweight world champion, former heavyweight world champion, the reigning, defending, 3-time light heavyweight champion of the world, Roy Jones Jr.
Deuces tonight, Roy. What a start.
Oh, he's very, very confident.
One thing Jones told us in a meeting yesterday, he said, you know, you never saw Tarver with his back to the ropes last November. That was because I was too tired. He said, tomorrow night, I'll put Tarver against the ropes.
And one of his most effective punches sometimes is that counter jab of Roy's. Whenever southpaw jabs, he likes to counter it real quick by slipping and then shooting his own jab very hard.
Now, they feint and face each other and feint again, and the crowd already rested, wonders what's going on. But Larry, what's really happening here is that you have 2 natural counter punchers against each other,
That's right. And Roy Jones is taking a more positive, aggressive stance, but he's not throwing any punches yet. Neither is Tarver.
Neither man wants to go first. Finally, Tarver leads.
After about a minute, we see a punch.
Yeah, both of these guys are really technical fighters anyway by nature, so this is only normal for them to fight this way.
You have to remember that what made the first fight dramatic was the jeopardy that Jones was in. A lot of it was this kind of posturing and looking for position.
And up until the times that Roy would actually go to the ropes, a lot of the first fight was this way, until Jones would go to the ropes and say, come on and throw your punches, Antonio.
And there were boos in the house during the first fight from time to time. And already Jones is much more active and much more effective in round 1 than was the case on November 8th, when he seemed totally out of it those first 2 rounds.
And trying to keep the fight right in the middle of the ring where he has an advantage.
Great right hand.
Gerald would fight a lot of fights. He would actually come to the fights early in Gerald's career and support and even worked in the corner with him one time.
Now in round 2, very much the same kind of action that you saw toward the end of round 1. Tarver stalking now more aggressively, more concertedly, and seemingly accepting the role of the leader in the counterpuncher's war. And there's a hard left hand by Antonio Tarver. Jones tries to come back with a right to the body and a right upstairs and another right to the middle of the belly.
You know, it's interesting. I'm watching Tarver. He seems to still be giving Roy problems. Roy has not found a way still to get a sustained attack against him.
And down goes Jones on a hard left hand. And that is the most that Roy Jones has ever been hurt. Only Lou DeVal ever knocked him down. Jones may not get up. And he makes it up. It's over. Jay Nady stops the fight. And Jones is still on Queer Street. And that's amazing. What a statement by Antonio Tarver. One big left-hand shot.
That is the first time in his career he's really been hurt. He's gone down before one time, but there was a perfect left hand. Roy never saw it coming. Roy is out. And Roy may be out of boxing.
And that's why Tarver wanted to be the counterpuncher, because he answered Roy's right hand with a perfect left-hand shot that knocked Jones out. There it was. One previous knockdown against Lou DeVal, that was a flash in Madison Square Garden in New York. This is the first time Roy Jones has been hammered by a power punch, and it's cost him a fight.
In 2 fights now, we have to say that Tarver has bested Roy Jones.